Hi viewers, welcome to our channel Alex Tech Project. We are in the playlist in DSA preparation for interview clearance. The time is so sweet and short, so I am using the top interview 150 questions for DSA round interview clearance. So you can see it on this screen. In the previous videos, we have seen arrays and strings, especially the difficulty levels as easy. Then we have moved to the second one, that is the 2 pointers, valid palindrome and each subsequence. And now we have moved to the HashMap, that is nothing but is dictionary inside the Python. We have seen the Ramsar node, isomorphic strings, word pattern, valid anagram in the previous video. In this video we can see to some happy number and contains a duplicate. This is called as a version 2. And in this video I am not explaining any concept or coding or programming language. I consider the YouTube as a buddy partner for my DSA interview round preparation and clearance. Before jumping on to the DSA, as everybody knows, the DSA means data structures and algorithm. This is a cell bus, arrays, strings, linked list, tags, queues, hash map and hashing, recursion, trees, graphs and dynamic programming. So these 10 will be the cell bus for the DSA. In order to solve this problem, I have created the plan and procedure and strategy. You can see it on this screen. The first point is a concept, second one is programming ID and language, third one is reading and understanding the problem, fourth one is approach and optimization, and fifth one is the problem solving mindset, and sixth one is use case mapping to the real world scenario. By using these 6 steps, we can solve the DSA problems in the LeetCode platform. And without further delay, now let us jump into the video for solving the problem. Now we can read the problem. This is a LeetCode 1 and 2 sum. Given an array of integers nums and an integer target is target, return the indices of any 2 numbers such that they add up to the target. Say exactly one solution. So you can see it. Nums is equal to 2, 7, 11, 15, target is equal to 9. So which are the 2 indices you can add such a way that you can get a 9. 2 plus 7 is equal to 9. So the indices is 2 for 0 and 7 for 1. It is an array will be starting defaultly with indices 0. Now you can see 3, 2, 4. The target is 6. You can see 2, 4 we can add and we can get the 6, which is nothing but the indices 1, 2. And now you can see the example 3, nums is equal to 3, 3 array, target is equal to 6. If you can add both of them, you can get it as a 6, whose indices is nothing but the 0, 1, that is the output. Now it is a time to read the constraint. Nums length is equal to 2 to 10 to the power of 4. Number of values from minus 10 to the power of 9 to the plus 10 to the power of 9. Target is also minus 10 to the power of 9 to 10 to the power of 9. And only one valued answer exists. And follow, you can come up with this algorithm that less than O of n square time complexity. So in order to solve this one, we have to use O of n square less than. And now it is a time to see the topic. The topic is array and hash table. Hash table in the Python we call it as a dictionary. For reading this problem, please go through the description, example, constraints, and you can see the topic. Unless you have a very good understanding of the problem, then you can jump onto the coding. This is a LeetCode 1 and 2 sum and comes under the category of an easy and exactly one solution. Now it is the time to move on to the coding. You can see there is a different languages it can support. As of now, I am using Python 3. Now you can see this is up to the here they can give you dictionary sum I am creating or a dictionary I am creating for tracking what I have seen in the previous before entering into this iteration, whatever the things that I have seen. You can consider as a dict previous whichever I visited. So index element in the enumerating of a numbers, you can find the target minus element is the difference in the dict previous, whether this element have you seen in this dictionary. If not, If you identify, then you can return the index and this one. If not, you can store that element and that index. Previously index versus value, now value versus index we are storing into the dict, and this is one of the way. So we typically see forward thinking means what is the next value, but what is the covered 2 comma 7. First it will try to say 7 comma 2, that is 9 comma 2, that is the 7. It will be try to difference will be the 7. Now you can see the element is nothing but the 2 whose index will be the 0. Now again it will try to move to the 7. 9 minus 7 is equal to 2. So the 2 will be existing here or not. You can see the 2 is existing and those index will be 1. So like this it will try to remove it, and it can find the indices of the two numbers which is summing into the target. It is the time to execute the code and see whether it's working or not. Now let me execute it and see. Now you can see 4 millisecond beats 41.41. Now it is the time. Again submit. Is their runtime can be changed or not? Now you can see 0 millisecond beats 100%. So now whatever you have visited nodes or visited value, if doesn't exist in the dictionary, I am preserving with the element and indices. The element is the key, indices is the value. Previously index is the key, value will be stored here, but the values will be there inside the arrays. Now you are putting onto the dictionary, that is HashMap. Now we have done this problem. Now I am moving on to the second one, that is called as a happy number. Now let me see what is the definition of a happy number. Write an algorithm to determine if the number is unhappy. Now come over here, you can see 202. This is a LeetCode number and the problem is happy number, and the category will be the easy. A happy number is a number defined by the following process. It is starting any positive number, replace the number by the sum of the squares of digits until unless you try to get it as a 1, repeat the same thing, and if it is equal to 1, return happy, true, otherwise false. N is equal to 19, you can see 1 square plus 9 square is equal to 82, again 8 square plus 2 square is equal to 68, again 6 square plus 8 square is equal to 100, 1 square plus 0 square plus 0 square is equal to 1. So 19 is called an happy number. When 2 is equal to 2, if you square it, then it will become a 4, and 4 you square, then it will become a 16. 1 square plus 6 square, it will be goes on. Constraint is equal to 1, the n value will be 1, less than or equal to 1, and it will go to the 2 to the power of 31 minus 2 minus 1. And coming on to the topic, you can say it's in a hash table, math and 2 pointers. So either you can use the dictionary, either you can use the 2 pointers. So this is the happy number, and we try to use it with as a hash table. Now it is the time to come to the code and see it out here. If n is equal to 1, then that will be the true, and else we are giving us in a dictionary and we are making us empty. N greater than 1, then sum I am assigning num is equal to n, sum is equal to 0, then I am identifying the square of this number. And if n not in the dict value, whatever this n is not there in the dict value, then n is equal to, I am making as for the corresponding n, what is the sum of the squares. So first whatever we are passing is the n we try to put it onto the num and we try to do it, and if n not there in the dictionary value, the dictionary value of n is equal to sum of the squares I am putting onto this dictionary, because again and again it will goes on, so I am preserving in this dictionary. Else I am returning in the false, n is equal to yes, and n is equal to 1 mean again I am returning as in a true. You can see it, whatever the value I am getting n I am putting as a num will be calculated here, and n value I am preserving over here. N is equal to yes, and I am making as n is equal to 1 if n is equal to 1, and returning the true. So this is the main essence of calculating the sum of the square, and if the value exists in the dictionary or not, I am preserving, because I don't want to compute again and again. And if the value is not there, then I am making as a false, and this whatever the sum of the square I am making as n, and again I am repeating if that value doesn't exist in the dictionary. And it is a time whether this is working or not, he is happy. that is the LeetCode 202 happy number. So I try to see it. Now you can see the runtime is 0 milliseconds and beats as 100%. So now again we try to submit and see it out. Is a runtime will be the 0 milliseconds and beats 47.23. Again we can submit and we can see it out here. So 0 milliseconds and beats 100%. So this is the second problem we have seen, that's a happy number. Now let us move to the third problem, that is nothing but the contain done with one of the version. Now we have to do with as in a second version. This two mean this problem already in this 150 questions it has been there. Again it is a version 2, the same problem only they will be doing. But what is the most essence one here they are giving, we try to understand. This is the LeetCode 219. You can see 219 contain the duplicates. 2. What is this problem? Given an integer an array, that is a nums, and an integer k, return true if there are two distinct values between I and j. I and j will be the indices, such a way that num of I is equal to num of j, and absolute values between these indices should be less than or equal to k. Within this window, is there any duplicates is presented or not? Now let us see k is equal to 3. Now you draw a window of NA3. So in this window of NA3, whether any duplicates is occurring or not. So you can see it out over here. Now with the window of 1, you can see the window of 1 window of 1 will be there or not. So here you can see 1 comma 1, window of 1 is less than or equal to. It is a less than or equal to, between these two it is there. Now you can see k is equal to 2, any duplicate 1 2 3, and you can see within this window any duplicates it has been there 1 2 3 1 2 3. Again the window of NA2 it is not satisfied, it is giving us a false, and nums of length is equal to 1 less than and greater than, this is within this range, and nums of I will be minus 10 to the power of 9 to plus 10 to the power of 9, and k value will be less than 10 to the power of 5. And the topic it has been there array and hash table and sliding window. So in this case we try to do with as in a sliding window, and we try to store the values. Yeah, it is the LeetCode 219 contains the duplicate. So within these indices we have to how many times it has to come. So they try to give the k, and we try to identify the difference between two indices and the values. So you can see the values should be the same, and if this satisfied then we have to return a true or false. Okay, it is the time. First I am creating as a window is equal to set I comma number, that is called enumerate I am doing. You can see it, this is the number value. If num in window, within this window is there, then I am returning the true. First of all it is empty, and window dot add I am doing the number, and less if the length of the window is greater than k, if it is overflowing then I have to remove the first element, because the window will be always a fixed window. In this case, in this window any duplicates it is coming, already the first element is there, again the element is coming me, then you can give it as a true, otherwise you can find within the window any duplicates is there. What is that window size? That is k, and keep on you need to add 1, you need to add 2, need to add 3, you need to add, and 1 you need to add unless this has been reached. Within this window any duplicate it has been there or given element, then we have to return a true. The window, if the window is overflowing, then you have to remove the first inserted element. Then within that one, whatever the elements are there, we need to, if any duplicate is coming, then we need to make it as a true. Now it is the time to execute the code, whether this is working or not. So submit the code. It comes under the sliding window, because the window size we are maintaining as a key. 35 millisecond beats 38.45. Again we try to run this one and see what is happening over here. You can see 32 millisecond beats 46.87. Again let us see what is happening to here. Again 35 milliseconds beat 38.45. In this video I didn't discuss about any concept, any coding and any programming. I consider the YouTube as an buddy partner for my DSA preparation and interview clearance. If you like this video for more interesting updates, please like, share, comment and subscribe to our channel, and we try to meet in the next video. Until then, bye, take care.